after a crazy opening weekend, it's on to week 2, and we've got a good one here between the Cincinnati Bengals and the Dallas Cowboys. Two clubs here, each looking to rebound from a Week 1 loss as we're underway on EA Sports. Taken at the goal line. And he'll get it up across the 20 to the 21-yard line.
Here we go, here we go.
Here's Joe Mixon as they start on the ground. Up past the 25 to the 26, a gain of 5. If you start assessing what went wrong last week, Charles, in their loss, had nothing to do with the ground game. They ran it well.
And you also have to say to yourself as a team, don't go away from what worked. That's not the reason the game was lost. Running the football over time, when you do it consistently, usually translates into wins.
And they're hoping to do it consistently here. Burrow going to fake to mix it and now look to throw. A quick throw there going to be batted away and incomplete.
Anytime he reads man coverage, I don't think it's going to be the only time he'll try and hit that route to the outside in this game. He'll test the perimeter, but that time they were up to the challenge.
Third play here, this opening drive as they're up against a 3rd and 5. Here's Burrow. The completion good. This is Eric Ebron. And they work this well upfield across the 45.
Normally on 3rd down and short yardage, you're thinking of throw to your tight end. It's just going to be a simple chain mover. But this time they let him roll down the field, and a nice dart picks up the first down and then some.
Now some movement before the snap. And we'll hear from our referee for the first time this afternoon. A full start backs him up 5, 1st and 15.
11.
After the penalty, it's Mixon. And he'll go out of bounds, it appears, right at the 45. 4 yards there on the carry, gets it back to 2nd and 11.
When you find that kind of yardage, you couldn't be more confident as a ball carrier. And guess what? You're going to go back and tell your offensive coordinator, I'd like to keep carrying it, thank you.
On 1, ready?
2nd and 11 now. Here's Burrow setting up to throw it. Trying to get it to Chase, but it's intercepted. Picked up by Malik Hooker. And the Cowboys are going to take over at their own 28-yard line. Not something you see very often from a quarterback of his caliber, an opening drive interception.
Oh, there's no doubt in my mind that even he's surprised at how that one played out. But we know this guy is not going to stop him from continuing to fire as this game goes along. Probably give a little nod of respect across the field for that one and let him know he'll be back the very next series.
They start on the ground with Elliott. And he's going to be taken down with a marker on the field. So let's see about the call. So a decent gain there on the play, but that all gets wiped out with a penalty.
Well, that's a setback, but all the good play callers, they just move on. They find something else in the playbook. They can attack this defense, and they go right back on the offensive on this play.
So following the hold, they're in a bit of a hole here with a 1st and 20. They'll try the right side with Elliott. Tackle made there by Chidobe Awuzie. Not a whole lot there. The defense was ready, it looked, for that run-pass option.
You get the sense that next time he has that opportunity, he may keep it himself and get to the perimeter. Probably owes his back a little bit of an apology on that one, huh?
Throwing on 2nd and long. Prescott forced out to it, and he can't find anywhere to go with it, and he goes down. They push him back 8 yards that time on second down.
They just gave up a sack there, and if I'm not mistaken, they gave up 4 last week, didn't they?
Yes, and just looking really porous, aren't they?
They really are, and I'm wondering if they're going to have to start thinking about keeping the tight end in, maybe a back, someone to help assist, because right now, the quarterback's been getting hit a lot in the last couple of games.
A crazy sequence here. A huge gain that time, but it still leaves them well short for 4th down. On 4th down, here's Brian Anger now to kick this one away. Only 2 punts for him last week in the loss as he gets this one away. Fair catch called for and made right at the 25-yard line. It'll be a 39-yard punt, no return. And the Bengals take over 1st and 10. The Bengals drive about to get going. Remember last time out they threw the interception on their first drive. Good news, their defense backed them up, so it's still 0-0 here as they begin their second possession.
Yeah, and one great way to judge a defense, how do they handle what we call sudden change? When all of a sudden, you know, it goes against their offense and they have to run out in the field and try and put out the fire. Give this one great kudos for getting out there and not letting that interception lead to points. Excellent job by them defensively.
The run only got a yard. Here's 2nd and 9. They're passing here. Joe Burrow. He gets this in the hands of Mixon. And he's taken down but able to slip across the 35. 10 yards there on a Bengal first.
One of my old teammates called me the other day when he was watching the game. He's like, man, trying to watch an NFL game and trying to account for their passing game? That's difficult. And just when you think you get everything covered, here comes a back out of the backfield. And in this case, he picks up a 1st down.
They go play action with Burrow. Rolling to his left. A quick throw knocked away and incomplete.
Receiver coaches preach to their guys all the time. Separation, that's what's going to make the play successful. That time there was very little, and I think they were actually fortunate that it was only knocked away and not intercepted.
Here we go.
Line of scrimmage, again the 37 as they line up 2nd and 10. Now Burrow. Man open, that's Jamar Chase complete. And all the way in for a Cincinnati score. Good start to the season for him. He had the touchdown last week in the opener and a second one in week 2 now.
How about the pace he's already established, right? Not sure he can keep it up for an entire season, but don't burst the bubble because he thinks that he can.
Do guys go into a season with a goal for touchdown scored or yardage? What do you think?
I think every single one of the guys who's going to touch the football, they all have those types of goals. They all have those types of thoughts. And then they just have to see how the season unfolds if they can stay with it.
Unfolding so far so good for him. And this will not be returnable. It's out of the back of the end zone for a touchback. The Dallas offense here set to begin the drive. And they'll certainly be trying to do better than that first drive where they went 3 and out.
And sometimes the first drive is just simply to settle nerves. You know what it's like at the start of a game with the emotion, guys a little bit jumpy.
But you do.
Oh, you understand the same way. It's just like us calling one, right? Making sure we ease into the game, let it come to us.
Well, you went 3 and out.
And now they have that opportunity.
No, you didn't go 3 and out. I went 3 and out on that first drive. I'm trying to do better here. They keep on the ground with Elliott. And he is going to lose yardage here. Across the line and to the ball quickly there, Trey Hendrickson. The Cowboys had 0-1 on the year following the loss in the opener. And they were given a gift of 2 straight home games to start the campaign. Dropped one of them already. You have to figure a split of these two probably imperative.
And they did talk about that with us prior to the game, about how important.
Oh, Prescott stripped. Points 1, 2, and 3 in their defensive game plan was to get to the quarterback and knock the ball free. They did it there. Luckily, offense hangs on to it.
Yeah, that's got to serve as a wake-up call, though, because they can't afford to let the ball go over to the defense and miss opportunities. And I'm not saying it happened here, but you know what a good rule of thumb is when a play like that occurs? You know who usually recovers it? The guy who missed his block and let his quarterback get hit.
Open man Lamb, It's complete. And he's got another first down as the tackle's going to be made at the Bengals 40. Able to convert on 3rd and 14. A terrific play call. So they'll come up in Bengals territory now with a 1st and 10 right at the 40. Now Prescott. And he's going to go down. They get to it back at the 40. Sam Hubbard making his presence felt in the backfield.
That's a pretty darn good start to his season, huh? A sack in the opener, adds a second one here. That tells you about his offseason. He came in determined to have a big year, and it's paying off.
2nd and 10. Prescott. He'll find Lamb. That's complete. And he'll be hauled down at about the 30-yard line.
Brandon, perfect defense in this situation would have meant that there was an incompletion that would have picked it off. Okay, so they gave up the completion. But I really enjoyed watching how the defense stayed in sync, stayed in great communication. And as he dragged across each zone, you see him pointing, communicating. There he is, and it passed him off to each defender. Ended up making a nice play, even though it was complete.
It's a gain of 4, and it gets him the first. A first down carry by Elliott. And the tackle there by Jermaine Pratt.
A quick burst there, and he nicely bit off a pretty decent gain.
After the pickup of 5, here's 2nd and 5. They go to Elliott again. And they'll bring him down at the 13-yard line. That one, a first down pickup of 8. After 1, 7-0 on EA Sports. From the 13 now, they work on 1st and 10. Elliott running right. And he'll take this forward for 2, maybe 3. But we do have a flag down, and they're already marching backward. They're backed up here with a 1st and 20 now after the holding penalty. They'll try to throw now. Prescott. And he'll go out of bounds in the red zone just inside the 20. Nice work to get 7 out of that, and it's 2nd down.
I did like his decision-making there to make sure they picked up something instead of forcing a throw. Now they've got more manageable play coming up to try and pick up the first down, and don't rule out the possibility that he just keeps it and runs again.
To throw again on 2nd down. Prescott. And he fires one that's intercepted. There he goes left side. The 30. 10. And he will bring it back. It's a pick 6 for a Bengals TD. But Charles, he was looking for just a short throw, kept it in range for the rare linebacker pick 6.
And give him full credit for his focus. He just kept the quarterback in his sights, and where he was looking to throw, he positioned himself perfectly to be there for the interception. He made the play of the game for his defense right there.
So they throw the pick 6. They'll get another shot at it now as this one's in the air. This taken in at the goal line. And he had no room to run as he's tackled down inside the 20. About set for this next drive by the Cowboys offense. And they're in a bind early here, down 14-0. Are you worried at this stage or still too early?
You're worried. You're just trying not to transmit it to the rest of your team. You want to make sure that they stay positive, but at the same time, you're wondering, how are we going to move the football? What do we have on this play sheet that can work Get back to basics is usually your answer. And make sure you find the guy who can move the ball fastest for you if you just get it in his hands.
Yeah, still second quarter. You get points on the board here. I think you're feeling okay. Off play action to Elliott. Here's Prescott. He finds his man complete. That's Ferguson. And able to get this one across the 45 before he's brought down. It's a gain of 16 and the Dallas first down.
Well, these guys have definitely been outplayed in the first half, but I like their countenance. I like the way that they're acting panicked out there, the way they're carrying themselves. They're starting to move the ball, and what you have to do, maintain your poise and start to put together some drives.
Inside give to Elliott. And nothing much materializing there on the first down run. He'll get a couple, and that's it.
Well, any lane that might have been open there was closed pretty quickly, and that was because the defensive front, they won that battle at the point of attack at the line of scrimmage. They used great leverage, held their spot, and stacked him up.
From just shy of midfield, Prescott. And he's going to have to eat this one as down he goes. That time, multiple defenders getting pressure, and it's a loss of 6. That's number 4. Sack number 4. They had 4 last week, so he's been down on the ground a lot.
Partner, they say the eye in the sky does not lie. And that's indeed the case because they watched the game tape from the previous week, incorporated it into their own defensive scheme, and continued to get after this quarterback.
And now this defense will be searching for sack number 5. All right, rifles one, and that's going to be intercepted. Picked up by Jesse Bates. And the Bengals are going to take possession here at their own 47-yard line. And that now 2 interceptions thrown in the second quarter.
And you know, a lot of people look at these guys and they think to themselves that maybe, possibly, they're still thinking about the first one. And they probably are. I think in this case, he's just trying to atone for the first interception. Tried a little bit too hard, maybe forced it a bit, and instead created a second one.
They begin with a run by Mixon. So a loss of 5, and it'll be second down.
And that's what I'd like to see out of this defense, a little fire, a little toughness. It hasn't been the best first half for them, but they did do a nice job there, forcing a loss on that play.
Here we go, here we go.
So a 5-yard run the other way in the wrong direction, and that leads us to second and 15.
11.
Burrow will throw. And the Cowboys' pressure gets there this time for the sack. Big DeMarcus Lawrence getting in there and bringing him to the ground.
I spent a lot of extra time preparing for this game, watching this offensive line, because they gave up 5 sacks last week in their loss. They just gave up another one now. They don't seem to be working together as a cohesive unit. Right? 4 guys might have it right, but the 5th guy is giving something up. They've got to find a way to all get on the same page.
On 2.
So that'll leave Burrow and the Bengals with a 3rd and long after that sack we just saw. They're going to look to throw. This is caught. It's Boyd. And he takes this one down almost all the way to the 30. A real letdown defensively. That was 3rd and a bundle, but they allow the conversion.
Here we go.
So the big play changes the complexion of things. Here's 1st and 10 just outside the 30.
12.
A man who played his prep ball in nearby Frisco, it's Kenane Nwangu. And not able to break away this time as they're going to stop him right around the line of scrimmage. Donovan Wilson that time there on the tackle. If this defense wants to stay in this ballgame, they've got to start ending some drives. That helps.
And they have to look ahead at what they expect the offense to do. And right now with that lead, that's run the football. So you don't just stack the line of scrimmage. You have to get upfield and try and make some plays in their backfield.
It'll go as a loss of a yard, so now they deal with 3rd and 11.
The running lanes have definitely not been there for him here in the first half, and I don't think it's all been his fault. His offensive line hasn't given him much space. A loss results there.
11 Thomas.
On 3rd down, Burrow. This pass complete to Higgins. And his bid for the first down coming up short as he's tackled at the 25. That'll give him 8 that time, and it'll be 4th down. McPherson's kick is good, and that will extend their lead even further. Well, they already had the early lead, and they get the interception, Charles, and now they add 3 more with the field goal.
Yeah, they're in control of how this game is playing out so far. You mentioned the early lead. Now they're expanding on it, getting plays on both sides of the ball. A winning recipe if they can keep this up.
And makes it across the 20 as his guys will set up shop at the 23-yard line. The Dallas offense here set to begin the drive. They're sort of seeing themselves spiral out of control. Let's see if they can get things back on track.
And this is where the coach is walking that line of being calm and really being firm with his team. Had one tell me once, when we were having a tough patch, this too shall pass, this too shall pass, and if finally we kept having a rough patch, he said, but you got to do something to make it pass, and that's what they have to do. They've got to get some control back, get themselves reasserted, and calm things down.
See if they can get calm and reassert themselves here. No gain on the play as we have reached the 2-minute warning. From the shotgun, it's Prescott. And for the 3rd time here in this half, it's intercepted. And he will bring it back. It's a pick 6 from Bengals TD. Wow, this one, it is getting out of hand early. They add a pick 6 to the ledger now. 3-score lead still in the first half.
And all that celebrating that you see and hear from those defenders, it's not just because they scored a touchdown on a pick 6. It's because they're pitching a shutout in this one. Every defender's dream.
McPherson on for the extra point. And the lead is now 24.
Makes the score. Bengals 24. Cowboys nothing.
So they'll get another shot on offense following that pick 6. And now the kick is away. This fielded right at the goal line. And they'll be backed up to start this drive as he's taken down right around the 15. About set for this next drive by the Cowboys offense. And they've sort of lost their way, partner. How do they recalibrate and get this proverbial train back on track?
Well, this is where leadership really comes into play. How's the head coach handling it? The offensive coordinator? Sometimes they just make a joke. All right, guys, you had your fun? All right.
Throw it out the window.
Yeah, let's get back on track here. And sometimes that'll work just fine.
I guess it's time now to lean on that leadership. Prescott on first down. And his pass is intercepted for the 4th time today. Picked up by Jesse Bates. Well, CD, when you mentioned earlier about spreading the ball around in this game, I don't think you mentioned the guys in the other uniform. With 4 interceptions here in the first half, and several different guys have picked him off.
Yeah, and instead of analyzing what's going wrong with him, throwing the football, while we look at the defense, they came in prepared. Had excellent game plan, well scouted, and they're taking it away at almost every turn.
A first down run, good for about 3. 2nd and 7 coming up.
The passing game's been working quite well so far, but the running game's been a little bit of a struggle, and that's a surprise to me. Typically, when you can throw it, you've opened up lanes for your runners.
On 2nd and 7, Burrow. They'll set up the screen here to Mixon. And he is going to lose yardage here. It'll be a loss of 4 yards on the play. And that's going to lead to a 3rd and 12. And that screen there on 2nd down certainly didn't develop how they had hoped. Is that one they should have even tried, or is that one the quarterback sticks in his pocket?
I think the latter. I like what you said there, because trying is one thing. We can second-guess just about every call. But in this case, when you realize that it's broken down, just throw it at the feet of your intended receiver so that no one can pick it off, right? You don't have the ball tipped up in the air, and you come back and try and pick up the first down on third down. That way you don't lose any yardage. Just about every coach we talk to says the crowd shouldn't affect us. That shouldn't be an issue. And then the next breath they talk about taking the crowd and taking them out of the game by picking up first downs and keeping them at bay.
And it's a fumble. It's picked up by the Cowboys. And they will take over at the 29-yard line.
We have seen this before, and we know coaches preach about this and work on it all the time. Catch the ball. You know there's going to be some traffic somewhere. They've got to put it away and secure it as they try and get downfield.
And they're just going to run it here up the middle. And he'll just push his way forward for a few as the clock will run. So we've come to halftime after a very one-sided beginning to this one. As we send you on over to Orlando for Jonathan Coachman in our EA Sports Halftime Report. Take it away, Coach. Welcome back. Halftime over. We are ready for quarter number 3. Alongside Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Gordon. It's the Cowboys who get the football first, and they trail here as well as we resume action in the third quarter. Fields it right around the goal line. And he will make it to the 20-yard line and no further. The Dallas offense here set to begin the drive. They look up at the scoreboard facing that deficit. A 3-score game, Charles, but look, there's plenty of time to go here. The old football cliche that comes to my mind is you can't get it all back at once. They probably need something, though, out of this drive, at least 3 points.
Are you trying to say that there's no 3-score drive on that play sheet for any of those coordinators? They just don't have it, right? You're trying to get it all back. You know you can't get it back in one drive. But maybe cut into it a little bit as you just suggested. Try and create a little bit of momentum, a little bit of a spark, and then maybe that'll carry over.
75 yards for him on the ground now as he has been terrific here this afternoon.
Despite the score, despite the deficit, no quitting this guy. He's running angry, running through arm tackles. He wants to change what that scoreboard is saying.
So after a good run by Zeke, another 1st and 10. And they'll keep leaning on the running game. Back to the ground. Found a little room there as he's up to about the 37. He'll get a nice chunk there on the first down run, and it's 2nd and 4.
Well, I think after that run, the defense is getting back in the huddle and looking at each other and maybe starting to question their confidence a bit. They gave up a significant run, 6 yards, and now you're saying to yourself, how do we stop them, and do I have enough confidence to make a play?
And this is going to be a Cowboys first down as he's got this up to the 45-yard line.
We don't talk about it very often, but sometimes there's a dip in intensity when you start the second half, which can manifest itself in some sloppy tackling. And how about right there? He ran right through that weak tackle attempt.
Again, it's Elliott. And he'll be brought down at the 50 after a gain of about 5.
This drive is pretty clear. Almost feels like old school fundamentals, doesn't it? Want to impose their will on the defense. Was that 5 straight runs?
Yeah, 5 straight carries to start this drive. And like you said, the way it's working, they may just stick with it. Escaping the pressure right. And seeing nowhere to throw, he chucks this one away from harm. Incomplete. Now it's 3rd down.
I'm sure it was a tough halftime trying to figure out some strategy to get things going. Trailing by a lot when they went into the locker room. He's just trying every avenue to spark his team here to begin the third quarter. Not a lot going on that play, though.
This offense in desperate need of a conversion as they come up on 3rd down. Prescott now from the 50. And he'll be taken down by the Bengal pressure. Trey Hendrickson in there to get him, and that is sack number 6 now for him on the year. Here's Brian Anger now as he'll kick it away for the 2nd time. And this is going to hit the goal line and continue on into the end zone for a touchback.
Here we go, here we
The
go.
Bengals drive about to get going. Mixon gets the nod to start the drive. And he stopped right at the 25 after a gain of 5. In the first half, he was held in check on the ground, but despite that lack of production, they still have the lead.
And they've got to feel fortunate about that. If they could actually get production from their lead horse, that would help open up this offense and widen this margin too.
Now whistles and a flag, and I believe a Bengal got going a little early there. A false start penalty, and now they're back to needing 10 yards on second down. Burrow going to give this to Mixon. And he'll get only a couple up to the 22.
I'd say they've got to find a way to get him going. He's such a big part of their offense. I wonder if they might throw it a little and come back to the run.
Anything, because you're right, he's pretty much been completely neutralized. They'll be in search of 8 yards here as they hope to convert the first down.
11 Thomas.
Burrow looking to pass. And he will be hit from behind and run over. Wow. Micah Parsons showing off that elite athleticism as he gets the sack. Here's Kevin Huber now. And the way this offense has moved the ball, he hasn't been needed till here in the third. Now a fair catch signaled for and made right about the 43-yard line. They call it 38 yards on the punt, no return. And the Cowboys will take over the football with a 1st and 10. About set for this next drive by the Cowboys offense. I kind of feel like they've reached a do-or-die point in this game, Charles. If they're going to try to pull off an impressive comeback, it has to start right here, right now.
Yeah, now they've got a final chance to get out of this situation, but they also understand they've got to move the ball and move it fast. In addition, they need to save as much time so they can get 2 more possessions.
They go back to Elliott. He's been busy. And he is swallowed up right at the line of scrimmage. No gain on the play there, so they're left with a 3rd down and 6. They've called his number a lot this afternoon. You wonder how much tread is left on those tires.
We certainly do, but I always think back to one of my favorite coaches in the NFL. And he used to have a meeting with his running backs every year in the offseason and say, look, as many times as you're going to carry the ball, you should be able to carry it 1 more time, so make sure you get in shape.
Prescott and Lamb hooking up for the Cowboy first. He'll drop to throw. And now here's another interception. Chidobe Awuzie with a pick. And the Bengals are going to take over a couple of yards shy of midfield. I think you and I were a little surprised back earlier in the game when he threw his 2nd interception. I mean, who would have thought a quarterback of his caliber picked now 5 times?
It's beyond stunning to me because we're used to that with maybe a quarterback with less experience or less talent. But a quarterback of his caliber, I can't believe what we've just seen.
Absolutely. If you would have told me this coming into the ball game, I would have said never, not in a million years. But here we go.
1190. 1190.
Back to Mixon on 2nd down. And just 1 yard here from the 49 to the 50. When we talk about defenders, specifically linebackers, keeping their eyes in the right spot, he had that eye down the entire time.
And you know that's not easily done because they throw a lot of misdirection at you. They try and fool you and get your eyes in the wrong place. But you're right about that one. He correctly figured that one out and made a really nice play.
From midfield now, Burrow. He's got a man, complete. 33 yards that time. Excellent execution, and now they're set up nicely.
Are they ever? Red zone? I wonder what the next play call is going to be because after a big play like that, a lot of teams like to use the momentum to launch another one.
Mixon with a 1st down carry. And able to get him down, but he does reach the 5. This game not quite as good as the last, but still over 40 yards between the two.
I think they like this drive a little bit better there, partner. Running game helping out, picking up some of the slack. Because remember, the last drive they went 3 and out.
They'll give it to Mixon. And he is in. Touchdown, Bengals. Joe Mixon, his second rushing touchdown on the year. And the Bengals will add on to their lead here in the final minute of the third. Extra point by McPherson, up and good. And the lead grows even larger here in the third quarter. After the touchdown, McPherson on to kick this one away. Taking it about the 1. And no alley to be found. The coverage was solid, and he's dropped at the 18.
At their own 18-yard line.
The Dallas offense here set to begin the drive. Well, we haven't exactly been treated to a nail-biter in this one, CD, and if they cannot score here, this one's pretty much all but over.
Are you saying that you feel like people are starting to think about getting out of here and maybe beating the traffic in order to get home or to their final destination?
Yeah, I don't think there's a whole lot of reason to hang around, especially if they can't score here.
Yeah, you're right about that, because it has been pretty clear who the better team has been in this one. And in a league that we talk about every game being a one-score game as we go into it, watching this blowout, let's just say it's been unusual.
Second and 6. No, scratch that. Second and 7. A give to Elliott. And he'll be brought down right at the 30 here. 106 yards rushing for him now, as he has been tremendous all day long.
Oh, that's one to warm the hearts of all those old school football players, isn't it? Tough, hard, gritty run, got behind his pads, bowled over a few people. Look at that one, right up the gut.
Saw through 3 quarters, no reason to lighten up now. And they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line. 11 yards and a Cowboy first down.
Well, partner, I know this type of running back. I mean, this size, this intensity usually gets better as the game goes on. And I just tell you from experience, the first few quarters, oh, you're eager. You come running up there, I'm going to tackle this guy. By the fourth quarter, you're coming up and thinking about it.
And D-line wearing down fourth quarter. Yeah, that's not a guy they want to see consistently. And he'll be pretty well stopped in his tracks. Give him a yard up to the 42.
Well, sometimes you just have to give credit to the defense. Great job there at the point of attack, holding up. They won their battles at the line of scrimmage, left him no space to try and run. A really nice job swarming to the ball carrier.
Here's 2nd and 9, just a yard on that last run. Gonna run again here with Pollard. Nowhere to go here. He lost the football.
Wow, that ball gets knocked free, but a teammate comes along and scoops it up. It's almost like baseball. Guys at bat, people are on base in scoring position. One guy doesn't get him home. The next guy comes through and picks him up.
And avoids the turnover. A 20th carry here for Elliott. And he can only manage to get this to the 45-yard line. Well short of the first. 9 yards on the carry, but it's going to lead to a 4th down.
That's a really nice job by them picking up the run blitz and detecting it and blocking it and turning it into a nice run. And a lot of times you think if you blitz a running play, you're going to smother it. But a lot of the blitzers, they come in a little bit high. They don't have great leverage, and they're easily blocked and turned to the side.
Now on 4th down here, that pass knocked away and incomplete. Now it's Mixon running right. He takes this for about 6 down inside the 40.
Brandon, I've got to think this offensive line has got some smiles on its faces. And I know it sounds crazy, but they practiced for this back in training camp. They knew they'd be in situations where it'd be extra defenders in the box coming after them, trying to keep them from locking down a game. Right now, they want to show the world they're up to the challenge.
Back to Mixon on second down. And they will only muster a yard here to the 38. Run blitz there defensively, something we might see more of here in the fourth quarter.
I think we'll see a lot of it, and the difference between that and a pass blitz, you're trying to get to the quarterback. You're trying to scheme someone open who will get to the QB and make sure he gets on the ground. In a run blitz, you're actually trying to cover up gaps, trying to cover up holes so they can't run the football.
Just a pickup of 3, but that is indeed enough.
Brandon, when a defense just simply can't